Welcome back. We are here with Taylor Yaffee, our fourth and final individual athlete competing this weekend at the SoCal Regionals. Taylor, how's it going?
Awesome, man. One
Cool.
week out.
So we're going to ask you a few questions, kind of get to know you, about your CrossFit history, your personal experience and kind of being competitive. Give us a little insight on, who you are, how long you've been doing CrossFit, how you got to CrossFit.
Yeah, so I started CrossFit three and a half years ago, right out of high school. Found it with a coach of mine at my high school, told me about it, and took me to our first comp at NLI back in the day. You were actually competing in it, and I watched it, and it looked pretty fun. Did some of the workouts later that week, and just kind of kept it on from there, just kept training, and then competed in my first competition maybe 4 or 5 months after that, and just kind of spearheaded that way into CrossFit. So that really would.
How old are you?
Right now I'm 21.
21. When you just turned 21, correct?
Just turned 21. Not just turned. So I'll be 22 coming up in August.
Summer. Cool.
August, yeah.
As far as your training schedule goes, how does that look? Are you doing double days? Do you follow some sort of specific programming?
So I don't follow a very strict program as far as like metcons and skill work stuff goes. Strength work, I try to keep it pretty similar throughout the weeks. I'll tweak some stuff here and there after a couple 6-week cycle on a certain emphasis, maybe squatting for 6 weeks, and then I'll emphasize something else. But as far as training throughout the week, usually it's 2 times a day. Once the volume needs to be there, once the open comes up. Generally, it's just I'm here all the time, so I'll kind of train 1 to 2 times a day for 5-6 times a week. I usually have a full rest day in the week.
This is your 3rd year competing at regionals?
Yep, 3rd year as individual. Yep.
So how have you placed in the last 2 years?
So first year, really surprised myself and took 10th. That was an awesome experience. Last year, definitely had more expectation and finished higher, took 7th, which I was happy with. Definitely had some stuff I had to look back and correct, but was happy with the finish. And so this year, looking to keep that trend going and just keep moving up the leaderboard.
Cool. As far as your diet and nutrition goes, how do you eat? You paleo zone?
Oh,
You're
man.
laughing about that.
Yeah, definitely not paleo and zone. I train a lot and I eat as much as I can to fuel my body. I live a lot off of protein shakes. A lot of protein shakes, but at night I tend to eat a lot of food. Definitely not paleo and zone, but got to get the carbs in.
Right.
Maintain
Right.
the energy.
And your athletic background, did you play college sports? You play sports through high school?
Yeah, so I played sports through high school, basketball for 4 years, and then, like I said, luckily found CrossFit right out of high school. That summer, as soon as I graduated, the summer outside of it, I found CrossFit, and that was really what kind of, took over my life. It's really been a change from going into high school and now really being CrossFit all the time. I still like playing basketball, but it's CrossFit now. No sports outside of that. Stay healthy for the sport. So
basically, when you started CrossFit, you kind of jumped right into the competitive aspect.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you realized, like, hey, I have the talent, I have the skills needed, and I could potentially go to the CrossFit Games? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Like you said, definitely jumped right into the competitive sport. I knew that I wanted to be competitive as soon as I saw you compete at the NLIs. The big following that your gym had. I knew I definitely wanted to be a part of that, and I kind of realized that I could go far in the 2012 Open when I placed a lot higher than I thought I would and made it to regionals. I kind of realized, like, whoa, this could really be something that I do well at. So from there, it was a real eye-opening experience, and just from there, it's just been training a lot, training hard, trying to get to the games.
Awesome. So then, what advice would you give to somebody younger coming up? Maybe in the same situation that you were, wanting to be competitive, wanting to go to regionals. What advice would you give to them?
The number one thing that I could say to them is you got to be able to work hard. You have to be able to and willing to make some sacrifices maybe throughout your daily life. Maybe not going out as much as you want to, staying in and training sometimes when you don't necessarily want to train, but you have to train. That's the number one thing, is you got to be able to work hard and push past some struggles, some pain, some setbacks, and just keep moving forward with your training. And definitely number two, you got to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, then you're not going to want to train. And if you're not wanting to get better, then there's no point. But really work hard, have fun with it, stay on a schedule, and you'll see the improvement for sure.
What do you think about this year's workouts at regionals?
Oh, they look interesting. They look really, really interesting. Gymnastics based. I like them this year for sure. Definitely not as much capacity, much more skill based this year. So it's kind of been whoever's been training for it, whoever's got that confidence that they won't mess up on the handstand walk. They can hit their snatch. They've been working on strict handstands, working on leg lifts all the time. So it's definitely different, but it's cool. It's kind of cool to look at this year.
So then, last year during the deadlift box jump WOD, Ryan Fisher, I think he threatened his judge with his life. You were right next to him.
I was actually right next to him.
Were you scared for your life?
I was a little bit afraid. I was contemplating picking my bar up and moving it over one leg. It was good. It was once I went back and rewatched, it was kind of funny, because I look over many times to see what happens.
Right.
But it was good.
Well, hopefully we don't have any issues like that this year.
Hopefully nothing. Hopefully nothing with that.
Right on, dude. Well,
Yeah.
good luck. We'll be watching this year.